Guys, what's up? This is Sugi-Khan and thanks for joining me today on my patch 5.17 in-depth breakdown where I will be talking about all the changes and how they affect the game and the solo queue and how you can exploit these new changes and everything like that. So first off, we got Azir, and Azir is not getting that many changes. He's getting a big nerf on his base movement speed, so he will be having less fun time juking around and dodging skill shots because movement speed going down. His Q no longer deals additional damage beyond the first soldier, which is a pretty big nerf, and this will of course affect the popularity of Azir. Maybe he'll become a more reasonable champion to play against, and not so broken as he is right now. Bard has been always a bit of a champion that has been kind of semi-popular, never really was first priority pick or never would consider to be the tier 1 pick. They're buffing the mana costs a bit on W, and reducing the cooldown on Magical Journey. I think these are really good changes for Bard. I still think the passive and collecting those chimes is kind of a bit of a chore, and they need to really tone that down a bit in my opinion. Darius is getting few fixes, and aside of that, W will now refund the mana cost upon killing targets. And that is buff, of course, and I don't really like the new Darius too much. There's more counterplay to them than the old one because you can now react to the Q. But I still think these new sort of fighter champions are kind of in a weird spot, and they're kind of obnoxious to play against, and I would just rather have Darius and Garen removed from the game altogether. Draven is getting buffs, so he will get bonus gold while he's able to, get more minions, axe catches from 6 minions in a row without dropping spinning axe. This is a pretty big change, and this will make the passive useful without having to rely on getting killed because assets don't reset the adoration. Draven is already a very strong champion. There's been a lot of people talking about how Vayne is now OP because her counters are really weak. Well, Draven is a champion that will smash Vayne on lane. As you could see, Sneaker versus Piglet on the last weekend, it's just a big difference on damage when it comes to Draven. I think Draven is one of the top tier 180 carry right now, and he will be much likely to be played at Worlds because of these buffs that are happening to him. Fizz, what they're pretty much doing here is they're buffing the Q's damage. They are kind of nerfing the active hit on damage on W, and the on hit ratio, the W is scaling is going higher though. But they're eliminating the AD Fizz altogether now because the ultimate no longer gets amp up damage from physical damage. Now it only applies magic damage. So Fizz will stay now as a mid laner, or you can still play him top, but he's gonna be AP. I don't think this is gonna 100% eliminate the AD Fizz, but I think this is going to make AD Fizz drop out from competitive play at least. It's still gonna be viable, especially mid laner viability has increased through these changes for sure. Gangplank has been a bit of a bully lane champion, kind of OP with not that many counterplay aside from his very squishy. So Powder Gig now has 50%, 10% reduction on the armor penetration, and there's delay between the cast. Those who remember when Ahri was released, for instance, she could use the ultimate without delay on the cast, and she was really OP back then. And this is pretty much the same thing because you could chain the powder kegs really easily, and I think they were pretty OP actually because they didn't cost even mana. So this delay thing increase is really great in my opinion. That's a balance change. And Garen is getting a lot of nerfs, thank God. Hopefully I don't have to see him in a solo queue anymore. Movement speed going down by 5. Q's movement speed going 5% down also, and Courage now gets doubled stacks on Twisted Tree Line, ARAMs and other special maps, and they just did few tooltip changes on them, but overall just nerfs and really good, just reducing his mobility a bit. Gregor's damage is going down on W. Gregor deals a lot of damage without just going to full tank. and I think this was a very reasonable change to Gragas to make him more balanced. Janna is getting a kind of bit of a nerf to ultimate, so ultimate heals less. I have to say that Janna is the champion that is sitting at the highest win ratio in solo queue right now in the game. So in a theory, Janna is the most broken champion. I'm currently working on a Janna guide for support role, and definitely stay tuned for that. That will be probably ready in this week. A Holding Gale is getting a change, so the medium range is now smaller, but the actual bonus range is now higher and longer. So what this means practically is that you have to actually charge it now. It's more skill based now and requires more timing to be efficient with it. I'm not sure actually is the overall maximum range now. Pretty much the numbers are, yeah, 15% you get, yeah, whatever. Jax is getting mana cost nerfs to E. I don't like this change. It's a very obnoxious champion that has never been balanced, and I feel he's kind of retarded, always been. I hate this champion out of the bone, and hopefully he doesn't get too popular, because say that Devourer Jax is still a fucking nuisance. Kalista, they're nerfing her a lot, so Sentinel's cooldown is now increased to 10 seconds, and the passive damage percentages are going down on their earlier levels, and Fate's Call is getting more CDR, more cooldown. I think at the beginning the cooldown was pretty high in the first place. Pretty big nerfs. Kalista was pretty much the one support, pick or ban, and I think these changes kind of make them more balanced. Karma is getting a bit of buff, so W now, less CDR on early levels. Lux getting more damage. Talk about more obnoxious champions. Q getting buffs, and it now deals the same damage on the secondary target pretty much, and mana cost is going down. Maga is getting more cooldown to the ultimate, which is good too. You just can't spam it all the time. Now just gonna be more precise about when you're gonna use it, because now you're in the older version with like 30% CDR, you could use it probably 2 times in a battle. Now it's kind of like you just barely able to use it 2 times through this new change, because it's pretty much doubled on the last rank. So pretty big change on that front. Master Yi is getting just a fix, and Nocturne is getting more range to the ultimate. I think this is a great change. I love Nocturne as a champion. It's really good in top lane at the moment too. Pantheon getting more base attack speed, kind of interesting change. Rek'Sai getting no longer Bones Fury on the passive. Still going to be a viable champion, viable jungle, but she has been like high tier jungle in my opinion, and it's good that she is getting toned down. Shen doesn't Shen doesn't heal anymore as much with his Q, and it's a good change because Shen is also one of those champions that have been kind of broken right now. Tahm Kench getting few buffs, you know, the duration time of the passive and the Devour range has been increased. Vi is getting the shield will now, the cool shield's cooldown to lower levels will come up much earlier, so I guess for early jungling it will be much better, and you won't be punished so much from like not having an up. I think this will actually increase the clear rate of the jungle a bit too, maybe. Azir is getting some script changes, not much to talk about, just bug fixes, but also it works now with Setter Devourer, so we might see an Azir jungle. It's gonna be interesting. Zed, a lot of fixes, just to more spells, just bugs. HUD is getting few changes. The chat bug position no longer resets between games. This is a great thing for people who don't want to use chat. So some people can drag it down off screen. This is actually something you can do, and because of that, you are able to, you know, you don't have to interfere with the toxicity in the game. And I think that's it. Then there's the project skins coming out. They're pretty cool in my opinion. The Leona's a bit meh, but whatever. It's just sort of like a final thought here. I think that Diana should have been nerfed in this patch. I think she's obnoxious right now. She needs some tune-up on her damage, and she will become very prominent pick now that Azir, for instance, has been nerfed. So hopefully we will be seeing something on 5.18 about Diana. Thanks for watching. I always like when you give it a thumbs up, like it and share, and of course subscribing means a lot to me too. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Namaste.